the fragrance flowers give when they are crushed. This is the description of forgiveness given by Sufism, a spiritual doctrine. Flowers in this proverb are rather romanticized, but the metaphor is not so far from reality and what it's alluding to, is it? We need to think about what flowers are. I believe their definition would go something like this, and let's keep it romantic. Flowers are those small and vulnerable dots coloring life that very often go unseen, but even when trampled on, they still find what little strength left to forgive. Flowers happen to be a recurring theme in Frieren, hiding the core messages of this story right behind their attributes. Their fragility is synonymous with the ephemerality of existence, while the simplicity of their beauty, too often ignored, reflects the value of even the smallest things in life that few have the humbleness to notice and appreciate before they wither, the few savoring the moment. But Frieren's not one of such people, and the reason is her exceptionally long life that allows her to neglect time. Of course, Frieren's lifespan is but a hyperbole of a real human's. Still, despite her being no stranger to death, Frieren's a character, at least initially, that, no matter how long she may have lived, has barely grasped death's weight, the sense and emphasis it gives to living, to time and its fleetingness, until Himmel's death, that is. The last time she'd seen him was 50 years before, when a meteor shower had marked the end of their adventure. In the following 5 decades, Frieren could not find the time to pay him one visit, and when she finally does, a second meteor shower marks the end of yet another journey, Himmel's very own. It is only upon losing him that Frieren understands her feelings for him, and flowers help her realize that. Fighting the coldness of his corpse, graceful and pure flowers adorn the coffin the hero is lying in. It is at the sight of Himmel, escorted by them all the way into the earth, that Frieren breaks down. At the sight of the man she did not know she loved being sealed in the dark of a tomb for eternity, with the only light emanated by those lively flowers. Frieren breaks down at such a sight, at the contrast between life and death, regretting all the years she didn't dedicate to that mortal. Indeed, time is limited, and every flower will eventually wither. It's surely one of the most original aspects in the story of Frieren, the choice to set it at the end of the adventure. But is it really the end? The anime's title seems to inspire hope through the word beyond, projecting the story into the future rather than fixating on the past, all the while paying the due respect to it. Simply said, where one journey ends, another one begins, and for Frieren, the new one she embarks on is approached with a deeply different mentality, taking into consideration the cruel passage of time. Speaking of time, it is no coincidence that during her new adventure with Fern and Stark, it is kept track of starting from Himmel's death. This isn't simply a useful way to tell the chronological distance between the events in this story. Rather, counting time from Himmel's passing is an indication of how life-changing that experience was for Frieren. A sort of year zero, a reset, showing that this is Frieren's new and mortal life. A life without Himmel, but at the same time for Himmel. The destination of the new journey is the far north, where the legendary land of the dead is said to be. Again, not a coincidence that colorful petals are dancing in the air, encouraging the new party's departure for a 10-year-long journey. A mere 10 years, the old Frieren would have said. The scene beautifully contrasts another, where white petals seem to be in sorrow, this time mourning Frieren's late master, the same person who taught her the spell to conjure flowers, making it her favorite. However, there is this one time where she decides not to use it. Requested to restore a statue of Himmel the hero and the area around it, Frieren states she would rather conjure a different kind of blossom, the blue moons. However, she cannot recreate flowers she hasn't personally seen, regretfully. As a very subtle love confession, Himmel had once expressed his will to someday show her such flowers, typical of his homeland. So, after months of searching, upon finding them growing up a derelict tower. In a way, it could be said that Frieren corrects the past by making Himmel's wish come true in the future. Part of Frieren's journey, the one beyond the end, is her intention to remedy for her past mistakes in the present by retracing the places she had visited in her old adventure with different eyes, and, inevitably, different companions too. It is an attitude that could be summarized in a few words: better late than never. And it's true. Life is shorter than one may think, but this shouldn't lead to getting anxious and panicking. Rather, the message of this story is an encouragement to simply cherish the moment. The present is, among many other things, an opportunity granted each and every day to fix one's past self. And even if the past cannot be changed, the future can, by acting and not sleeping on the present. Sleeping is what Frieren's portrayed doing in the first opening of the anime. We see Frieren sleep on life, waking up when it's too late, after everything and everybody is long passed by her. Chromatically, the dominant blue sets a melancholic tone, same color used in the initial frames to define Himmel and Frieren's silhouettes. In addition to that, the very simple style is yet another parallel to the ephemerality and fragility of every living being. Then, the inexorable and indifferent passage of time is symbolized by a rain of shadows that Frieren seems to be helplessly lost in, observing time consume everything around her. The first ending is also particularly fascinating because of the floral theme. This time though, Frieren's eye is open, for the most part, only to close at the end as the meteor shower, or rather a flower shower, concludes the animation. The seasons quickly alternating with each other are also another metaphor, emphasizing how fast the time goes by. Memories and dreams. That's where the past keeps on breathing, and it's in winter, the season when one hardly counts by flowers, that Frieren dreams back of the old adventure, reminiscing the time when she may have fallen in love with Himmel, back when her life blossomed, as suggested by the pedals animating the scene. To reminisce is only human. After all, monuments and festivities are but rituals to commemorate a certain event or a person. A birthday, as obvious as it may sound, is a celebration of time, of the time spent together with someone. Time is limited, and there may be no such thing as someday for much longer. All we have is now. However, this is not an invitation to enjoy life recklessly and fear its ineluctable end. Carpe diem is a very famous Latin expression often misinterpreted in a way that advises to seize the moment, as if there was no tomorrow. Such an interpretation is incorrect. In fact, the following line from the same poem completes its sense. Seize the moment, rely on tomorrow as little as possible. Carpe diem is an aphorism suggesting moderation, wisdom, prudence, not hedonism. It incites us to enjoy life each day because of the unpredictability of the future, to which we still have to keep an eye on. It's a hard balance to keep for sure, conquering the awareness to cherish the present while leaving what's due to the future and, at the same time, remembering the past. It's important to remember, because the more time passes, the vaguer the memories. Voices and glances lose their neatedness, and certain details fade away. Such is the tyranny of time. But there is something that can transcend it. It's love. Love could be a memento, an old magic tome left open right on a certain page. Love is new opportunities to redeem ourselves given to us by others. Fern is entrusted to Frieren by Hyder and Stark by Eisen. Love is company. The several hero statues wanted by Himmel across the continent are meant not to leave Frieren alone in the future. Love can survive time and overcome death, because love is timeless.
でも、一番の理由は、君が未来で一人ぼっちにならないようにするためかな。
何それ？
おとぎ話じゃない。僕たちは 確かに実在したんだ。
There is at least another flower left to mention, and it's the mirrored lotus. Embedded on a ring gifted by Himmel to Frieren, the flower symbolizes eternal love. But that's something the elf only finds out many years after Himmel's passing. A mere object that, like many other things in life, suddenly acquires a new value after the death of someone. The truth is that flowers often decorate the roads we take, and yet we may walk down those roads without sparing even a second for them. But one day, when it's too late, that very second will acquire the worth of centuries. It's a lesson one is constantly taught in life, and yet it seems there is always something else, whatever it may be, to take precedence over that one mere second. Incidentally, although perfect, just never in the wrong, Himmel is not a boring character at all. Though he may look like the classic charming prince coming to the rescue of the literally sleeping princess, his similarities to the conventional hero of an old-school fairy tale end there, and for two reasons. First of all, because he couldn't fulfill the prophecy and claim himself as the hero by extracting a certain sword from a rock, reason for which he took fate into his own hands and denied destiny. Secondly, and this is more related to our topic, because Himmel is more of a mentor, teaching about life, sometimes in a peculiar way, suspended as he is between his idealism and pragmatism. For example, the reason why Frieren always asks for a modest reward after doing people a favor, generally it's very silly spells, the reason is because Himmel also used to, so that no one would feel in debt with him. This anecdote serves to explain that one of Himmel's most important lessons is that even the silliest things are worthy. Then, Himmel really is the hero, someone who simply likes being kind and considerate of others. And what's funny is that everyone can be like him. Anyone can do what Himmel would have done. A very recurring sentence in this story. Ultimately, appreciating is simple. It's Hyder patting Frieren's head, and many years later her doing the same. It's the hobby of collecting spells, a way to cherish someone's memory. For others, it could be praying. Finding ourselves in a field of flowers, it can be hard not to step on them. Humans are fallible by nature, after all. However, it is important to learn and treasure the hard-learned lessons, and to keep walking on, without stepping on any more, because flowers are always following us along any road we take. It's important to notice them when their colors are still vibrant, and once they've withered, to carry on their memory, so that they won't become fairy tales.